Hello, fellow rollers, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 5 of Holy Rollerz, the D&D show about the Hallowed Council, leaders of an interfaith alliance dedicated to protecting the world of Ienia and its churches from devils, demons, fae, and possibly mother-in-laws, depending. So, we are excited to be with you tonight. We want to remind you that if you like classic witches, you should buy Wonders of the Witch for 5th edition and World of the Witch for 4th edition on DM's Guild and Drive-Thru RPG. It will be absolutely fantastic for you. It is a whole new class with 4 unique builds, new spells, 6 sample covens, witchy magic items, and new monsters. So if you bring these books into your game, witch will be more than just a sloppy insult that you level at female spellcasters or some kind of prejudice. So anyway, let's go ahead and do introductions, starting with Jer.
Hi everybody, I'm JT. I play Anduriel, the vampire cleric of Naylock, who is the god of night and vengeance.
I'm Ryan. I play Lachlan Dulay, a bard cleric, bard paladin of Sindel, goddess of love and truth.
How do you really feel about her? All right, cool. Hey guys, I'm Ben. I play Morokhan. He's the cleric monk of Hemina, goddess of the sun and lights. I guess the sun, moon, and stars, but more specifically the sun.
Well, you're in the service of the sun, and her church is broken up into 3 different churches, actually, and you just happen to follow the sun one, so that's appropriate. Very good. Okay, and I am Sage of Sorcery, also known as Matt, your humble ginger dungeon master, and we are excited to be with you today. So before we go ahead and do our recap, we wanted to let you know that we are going to be starting a new contest very soon to give away some wonderful items. We're going to be giving away a dice vault, again, one of the beautiful dice vaults by John Gaiton. These are absolutely lovely. He's going to kick in another one of those. Does not have to say Holy Rollerz on it. John's doing them magnetically now, and he's putting he's just got all kinds of things that he's doing, which is very, very exciting.
They're super nice.
Yeah, they're beautiful. We are also going to be giving away a set of heavenly dice. A beautiful set that have been purchased for the purpose of the giveaway. They are shiny and gold and beautiful and celestial, and you will love them. In addition to that, as if that were not enough, wait, there's more.
More?
There's more. More, you say? Yes, there is. Ben will also, our professional artist, Ben Coombs, will also be giving away a free character portrait, or he will collaborate with you to do a portrait of your character for you. Ben is a professional artist. He has worked for the Utah Jazz and among other companies, and he does all of our artwork for Holy Rollerz, and he's absolutely wonderful. So that's a great opportunity. So you're getting a 3-for-1. So how do you get that? Well, we're going to be putting something on our website. It's a contest. We're going to call it the Legit Cleric Contest. And what we want you to do is we want you to get on and tell us about your cleric. Tell us why your cleric is legit. So we'll provide more information as we continue, but you'll be able to find that on our forums on our website. So that will continue. It will be exciting. It's a 3-for-1 deal. It's a good package. It's quite the giveaway, and we look forward.
I should also add that I will not do artwork that is NSFW.
That is a good point. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm out of the contest.
Yeah.
Son of a gun.
Anyway, we're gonna move on.
It's art.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's very artistic. Okay, so now for a recap. Last time on Holy Rollerz, the party defeated a monster able to take the shape of the priest's worst nightmares. The creature took the shape of Gizik's mother, Elspeth, and a twisted, maimed doppelganger, Lachlan. Did vast amounts of psychic damage, but dissipated into gray smoke when Lachlan and Morokhan discovered its weakness to radiant damage. Almost as if it weren't real. Following the battle, the Divine Fellowship received a visit from Demora Octavius, a white witch and first ambassador of the faith of man to the entire Radari Republic. Demora stated that she had come to make reparations for the crimes of the Faith of Man's ambassador, Clary Waterford, who used murder, devils, evil fae, coercion, and slander to try to destroy the Church of Bestera in the town of Winter Run. Demora gave the Divine Fellowship 10,000 gold pieces and brought word of trouble in the capital city of Horta. The witch offered to travel with the party to Horta and help to put to rest whatever troubles were there as a show of good faith. Deciding to keep friends close and enemies closer, the Hallowed Council allowed her to accompany them, and that is where we will pick up. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will go ahead and pick up. She informed you that she would be able to be back in a couple of hours, and she does return in a couple of hours. Is there anything that you want to do in preparation? Any last-minute instructions for Deacon Dirk and Quillfire?
I think Dinky Dirky can take care of himself.
Okay, well,
He's got a wall to fix, probably. I mean,
yeah.
there was this one time the ogre Kool-Aid man right through the wall. That needs to be fixed.
That happened.
I can't think of any.
I know.
I want to just tell him, don't get walked on by our elven ambassador. She shows up and tries to take charge of things. Just remember, she's a guest, but she's not. She has no power over the fellowship.
She isn't on the council or anything.
Okay, he looks at you and he says, "Yes, very, very good, sir. I will attempt to handle her in a diplomatic fashion. She does seem rather forceful of personality, sir.
But she's used to comforts, so if you have trouble with her personality, just make her really uncomfortable. She'll leave on her own."
Okay. He says, "Make her uncomfortable, sir?"
Put away all the cushions. Make sure the beds have bugs or whatever you need to do to make it so she doesn't want to stay here and think she's in charge of anything.
You say that, and he looks up at you and he goes, "Sir, how exactly do I get bugs into the beds?" And then he looks at Gizik.
Oh, surely there are some street urchins who can help you with that.
Okay.
Invite them to spend a night in one of the beds and you'll be fine. Only as a last resort.
Okay. Very good, sir. Okay. And he just kind of gives you a funny look, and then he heads down the hallway, like, talking to himself. Like, right. Anyway, Minister Crownguard, of course, is already in the process of packing on the mission that you gave him. So he and the other ministers, are going to be heading to Castle Winterguard soon to see if Night Lord Descartes Gable will give them some just blades to accompany them on their journey. So he is not there to bid you goodbye, but in a couple of hours, as she said she would, Demora Octavius shows up wearing her customary white dress that she was wearing before she left. And you notice that this time she has some kind of silken red backpack that she's carrying over her shoulder. It's got 2 little shoulder straps on it. It's very light, and it looks like it's just about empty. So you're looking at her, and she's wearing some very sensible shoes. She's absolutely beautiful in her way. She has a certain kind of natural beauty to her. She's one of those people who doesn't have to put on a lot of makeup, which I imagine means that Lachlan immediately distrusts her. But anyway, long about that time, I would like all of you to make a perception check.
Insight or perception?
Perception, my friend.
Okay.
16.
18.
17.
Okay. Morocon?
17.
All right. So with your perception check, as she shows up, she's coming up the grounds of the estate, walking up to the front door, and you walk out, and the 3 of you, as Lachlan walks by, you notice a big old, like, nasty looking hairy wart that has, like, taken, like, on his chin, and you didn't notice it before, and there it is, just this ugly hairy wart. I mean, there's like 3 hairs sticking out of it, and when I say sticking out of it, I mean they're not even all going in the right direction. One's like and it's noticeable, and it wasn't there before. But
On me?
on Lachlan's chin.
So, did I notice it?
No, you haven't noticed it.
Oh, well, I don't leave the building before I check a mirror. So
when you checked the mirror, it wasn't on there.
I guess Anduriel will be the pal who's like, hey, Lachlan, you've got a bit of
Moo.
got a bit of a growth. Trying to do it very quietly and to the side, off to the side a little bit.
Orocon's not quiet about it.
So when I touch my face, do I feel it?
Oh, you feel it. It's like a knob, like right there. Like, I mean, it's like raised. It's right there on the corner of your chin. And you feel the hair. The hair is actually so unpleasantly tough that it like pokes your finger and stings a little bit.
Cut it off!
Do you shout that out?
Yes, to Anduriel. I'm like, pull that Leviathan's tooth out right now and get this sucker off me.
Compose yourself.
You shout, cut it off, and from the kitchen, you hear Regatta Greycloak go, oh! And there's a clatter of pans and clinking on the floor and
I just
whatnot.
sort of take him to the side. Compose yourself, Lachlan. We'll see if the ogre has any magic that can help this. Ogre, come. I know you're used to putting these things on people, but is there a way to get them off?
Well,
It's her. She did it.
Who?
Who did it?
The witch.
All right, she is walking up the steps as you speak. I mean, she'll be at your door in like a minute, and that's if she's walking slowly. So
stay calm, Lachlan. We don't know.
How could she have done
her.
it? She's not even here.
I don't know, but she's a witch.
I'm not helping you. If that's how you feel about us.
You are not her. You're a witch with faith. She's a witch without faith. She's a wicked witch.
okay, she walks up to the steps and while you're all having this conversation, and she says, "Well, gentlemen, I greet you. How is everyone doing? Are we ready to go?" And then she nods at you and looks at Lachlan, and I would like all of you to make an insight check.
Ooh, I'm not trained in
18.
that. 7.
27.
Okay.
12.
She is masterful at kind of controlling her expression. Lachlan, you rolled so high. She looked at your wart and she went like this for a second. And then she tried to cover it up. The rest of you just thought she was yawning, but you could tell she was looking right at your wart, and now she's deliberately looking away. But she seems genuinely surprised and going like, "What the hell?"
When bards reach a certain age, they start to.
He's
Well,
experimenting with his look.
It's not a whitehead.
No, it is a hairy mole. Anyway, she asked if everyone is, and no one responding to her.
Lachlan says, "Oh no, we're not going anywhere. We have a catastrophe to address before we can leave."
All right.
And then I reach out and grab Anduriel and I pull him into one of the other rooms. I'm like, "Get your kukri or your dagger out and cut it off me."
Is that really the best way to handle this, Lachlan?
I'm going to charm you. I will dominate you right here, right now, and make you do it.
Don't get me wrong. The thought of cutting your face has not been far from my mind for quite some time. But this is neither the time nor place. There's got to be a better way. I'm just going to leave a giant bloody welt on your face. I'm telling you, we need to get some magic involved. We need to get to the ogre and have him help you with this. Call him with your mind. Call him with your brain powers or something. Let Morocon deal with the witch for a moment.
Morocon's in the
He was
deity.
so tactless Morocon was so tactful with the Elven ambassador. Yeah, that's a great idea.
We already don't trust her. We already are on the borderline of hating her. What does it matter?
Fine. And then Gizik!
Okay. Demora looks at Gizik and Morocon and she says, "We're in the middle of a crisis." She says, "What crisis? What's going on?"
He's got a...
Don't you say a word, Dragon.
He's quite vain.
Okay. All right. She's like, and I mean, she's obviously, she looks like she put 2 to 2 together and she goes, "Oh, he worships the love goddess, yes?"
Yeah. He's pretty devout.
She just kind of nods and goes, "Oh, I see." And just looks very like, "Well, will we be leaving soon?"
Gizik, remove affliction. Do it.
Oh, I don't have any. Well, no, I kind of need it.
Need what?
My magic hat, of course.
No, he wants you.
This is not something you cover up. A hat could slip off. You bust out the Residians.
You're right.
Just a little bit of base and just no one will notice.
This is not something you cover up. This is something you just put on your big boy pants and let's go.
Not gonna happen.
I don't have anything to fix that.
Gizik doesn't know the remove affliction ritual, if I'm correct.
Oh dear.
You know what?
That's an awfully powerful magical ritual to be using on a wart, too.
If you want to go,
Morocon will holler from the, because you guys are inside, right? You left me alone with her.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Morocon's gonna holler back. Maybe Domo White Witch Lady can help you with that. You told me not to say it.
Okay.
That thing.
his face.
How about a cure disease? You got a cure disease?
Morocon, you say that, and she puts her hand up to her head, and she blushes a deep crimson color, like, and all over her face. She's trying to remain composed, but all over her face, she's feeling like she looks like she's like, "Oh, bloody hell, is this
All right?
Like, this isn't happening." And
Hold on, Lachlan. Let me go talk to the witch. One moment. Mandurio's gonna go out. Yes. You are a white witch, are you not?
yes, I am.
Are you versed in healing?
Why, yes, I am quite versed, quite skilled in the art.
Our new voice finds himself indisposed due to an illness. Would you mind coming back here with me and maybe we can sort him out?
Okay. Andriel, she blinks a couple times and then says, "Oh, of course. No, I'd be happy to take a look at whatever affliction is such a crisis. I'm more than happy to treat any illness of any of your people. Please lead the way."
Understand before we go back there. Crisis is a subjective term.
Indeed.
So just kind of understand that as we go. This is very important to the lad. He is who he is. So please follow me. Yes, let's go. Morocon, guard the door.
I'll be in the shrine.
Perfect. Yes. Good man.
Okay.
So they go back there, right? And then Gizik is Gizik still in the room?
Yeah, I'm kind of just over chuckling in the corner.
Gizik, are you trained? You're trained in like what?
Hurting people? Yes.
No, arcana.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
So I'm gonna direct the witch over. Lachlan, I know it's a woman, a handsome woman at that, and she's going to be looking at your face. Just be calm. Don't worry about it. She might be able to help. And then he's gonna walk over to Gizik. Gizik, I need you to keep a very close eye on what's happening right now. If she tries to do something that's going to alter Lachlan, other than the hideousness that's on his face, We need to stop it right away. Do you understand?
Hey, you say all this.
I mean, what's she gonna do? Make him uglier?
Look who's talking. Okay, then.
She is with
I'm
the
very
faith of...
happy with how I look.
Okay, you're saying all of this in front of her?
Yes.
Okay.
Ender doesn't care.
Okay. She says, "You have my word. I will do whatever I can. I swear I will not cause harm to any of your people."
Your word, Waterford word, doesn't mean anything to me right now. Gizik, please keep an eye on this situation.
I understand. Okay. All right, Lachlan, she comes in and she says, "Well, let's take a look at what we have."
This wasn't here an
Not
hour
much.
ago. This wasn't here an hour ago. So there has to be magic involved. Things do not grow on your face to this
Okay.
size without just in an hour.
All right, she raises her hands, and Gizik, you already know the spell. She raises her hands and waves her hand over and casts Detect Magic. And she waves her hand over your face, and then she looks at you and goes like that. And she says, "I'm sorry, I don't detect any magic coming from this. I can lance it if you wish, and then apply an ointment."
I'd like to do the lancing.
Okay. She says, she raises her hand up. She says, "May I?" I just want to touch it. I need to touch the area.
Fine.
Okay, so she reaches up and she squeezes it a little bit, and it bulges, and she makes a look. Okay, and then she says, "My goodness, the surface is raised quite a bit above the skin." And you say, "Have you been spending an inordinate amount of time in the sun?"
No. The sun? Are you telling me that dragon did this?
Okay, and she says, I don't know. I don't know what he would be doing that would have caused it." But she says, "Sometimes you get, and like discoloration. It's very..." She says, "I could try a bit of magic on it if you wish."
Do it. Fireball it. I don't care. Get it off.
Okay, you say fireball it, and she throws her head back, and she can't help it. She's like, and she says, nothing quite so strenuous. And she reaches into her bag, and Gizik, make a knowledge arcana check.
20.
She's casting the Witch's Solve spell, which is a spell that Elspeth, your mother, knew how to cast. It's not, it's just a simple healing thing. But anyway, she just kind of casts the spell, and she conjures up this, she takes out a jar, and the jar kind of just fills with this green goop. And she reaches up and she applies the green goop, and there's this bright green glow. And when she applies it on your face, Lachlan, so you briefly have this green flash in front of your face, and all of a sudden you look back, and she looks and she goes, "Oh my, I think it might be bigger." Okay. And you're not sure, the rest of you who are looking at it, but it looks like it might be a little bit bigger. And she goes, oh dear. I don't, and she looks at it, she's like, let me try something else. Okay. Okay. And she goes, she pulls out that red backpack off of it and opens it up, and she just lifts her hand, and a scalpel pops off of just a little sharp lancet, flips out of the bag and lands into her hand, right? And then she says, "This is going to sting a bit, but I'll be quick. It'll be very precise, I promise." Okay? And she goes, and she cuts it. She lances the top of it, and then she raises her hand quickly and whispers a spell, and she casts healing charm on you. And all of a sudden, and it just kind of heals and it smooths over. And she goes, "Well, that's done it. It's gone." And then she looks at it and she hands it to you.
To whom? To me?
To Lachlan, yeah. And she says, I'm sure you're aware that allowing a piece of your body, a fluid, can lead to dangerous magic. You want to be rid of this.
I turn to Gizik. Hey, you want to eat this?
What? Where were you raised?
Okay.
I saw what your mother looked like. Don't tell me you didn't eat kind of freakish things like this.
Probably not on purpose, Lachlan.
No, I storm out of there. I go to the kitchen. I find the hottest part of the fire, and I stick it in it.
Okay. So you burn up that little thing.
And I go running back to a mirror, and I look like right up into it.
Okay. It's gone, and she did an expert job too at it. When she cut it and she healed it, I mean, there's barely even any kind of wound at all. You can't even. In fact, because she cast healing charm on you, you don't even think you're wounded. So whatever's there, you're not even sure it's there. So you look at it, and it seems to be gone. So anyway, while he's running and throwing this in the fire, she is still blushing, and she looks at the three of you like she's grasping for conversation, but doesn't know what to say because this is so embarrassing. And she blushes again, and she kind of looks down, and she says, well, it'll be nice to get on our way. I suppose I'll wait out front. And then she walks out.
I'll holler out from the shrine. I'm in the shrine. I'm not there watching any of this. I'm off praying.
Praying for Lachlan?
No, just praying in general. I needed to go talk to Hamina for a bit.
Please
Okay.
bless that his mole gets removed.
What the heck is up with this?
Do you say that in the chapel, or what?
I go back and say, what in the hells is wrong that I would grow a wart, a mole, whatever it was, in a few minutes? That's not natural. Maybe it's natural to Gizik. It's not natural to me.
Well, now you are getting old enough. When you get to a certain age, you start going through something called puberty.
I don't think those are
puberty.
warts.
Uh-huh. What are you, like 12?
Okay. All right, so you're having all of this distress. Meanwhile, Moralcon, you're praying in the chapel. Anything in particular that you want to ask, Hamina?
I am asking for any particular guidance as we begin a seemingly new quest. That basically that she will illuminate our paths. That my fist will strike true when there's danger. That we will know when things have gone awry. Like,
They went awry.
It's a fairly basic prayer of supplication.
Okay. All right, so fairly basic prayer of supplication, and basically, more or less, you feel a sense of purpose kind of just feel you, and the impression that you ought to keep your eyes open on your journey, and that's pretty much the only bit of impression that you get. You don't even hear a voice. You don't get anything. The torches, the lights in the room, maybe they flare a little bit brighter, and then you get that impression that you need to keep your eyes open on your journey. And that's pretty much it.
I think Lachlan is he before we go, he says, I think I better say a prayer too. He's gonna go join Moracon in the shrine.
Okay. Well, all right, Lachlan, is there anything in particular that you want to ask Sindel?
I want to say, Sindel, it had been a trying morning. And I don't know if I am supposed to take this awful situation as a bad omen or as a test. But please don't let it happen again. I just can't handle it.
Okay. All right, Lachlan. Lachlan, as you pray, you begin to get just kind of a sick feeling in your stomach, as though you have forgotten to do something.
Oh, snap.
Oh, dear.
And that's all. You know that feeling, like that feeling you get when you've forgotten something and you can't remember what it is you've forgotten? You are left with that feeling and kind of nothing else.
That's like the worst feeling in the world.
It's pretty bad.
I go find Anduriel.
Okay, Anduriel, he walks back over to you, and that wart is back on his face. Are you gonna let him know, or are you gonna try to hide it?
No, he's just gonna. Oh, for the love of Shadow, what is? It's back, Lachlan. I don't know what's going on, but it's back. Don't look. Just take my word. You're going to be upset. I don't know what's going on. What did you prayed to your goddess of whatever? What did she say?
Of beauty? Yes, I did.
Yes,
I asked her to not ever let this happen again.
Well, it seems
here it is.
Though
and I feel like I've forgotten something. Something's wrong.
Did you remember to turn off the stove?
My spinach puffs.
Shouts to Lou. Well, what's before going on a journey like this? What else should we have done as the voice of the fellowship? Is there anything we should be doing? Maybe Deacon Durkin might have an idea.
I think we should need some heavy duty magicking to get this thing to go off my face and stay off my face. How am I supposed to go and be the face of the fellowship with this face?
It's fine.
It's not fine.
You don't have to be the face of the fellowship. You're the voice.
I believe the term is voice.
No one will listen to this.
Do you really think that magic? I mean, it seems like maybe it's your goddess that's giving you this new face. Is she trying to teach you something?
No. Maybe it's your hag goddess who's doing this to my face.
Maybe. I don't know.
Nope. Maybe you need to go to the outhouse and have a conversation with her.
Okay, Lachlan, make a knowledge religion check.
Ooh, 26.
As you look at Gizik, that sick feeling in the pit of your stomach that you have forgotten something returns. It's a brief flash of emotion, but it returns ever so briefly as you look at Gizik.
I want to look with the same intensity at Anduriel and see if the feeling's the same.
The only feeling you look at Anduriel when you look at him is a slight pang of jealousy, because he doesn't have to put half as much effort into his appearance, and that angel blood of his, he just is beautiful, and it's irritating, particularly now.
I join the rest of the group. I come walking out of the shrine at this point.
Morocon just looks like a beast, so you don't really feel...
I'll look at Lachlan and be like, oh, well, that's too bad.
Okay,
maybe we need heavier duty magic.
All right, Deacon Durkin comes walking down the hall, and he goes, oh, you haven't left... Oh, fireballs! He drops his quill, he drops his parchment that he was holding, and he goes, oh. And he picks up his parchment and quill.
It's a curse. I've been cursed.
Okay.
You know ritual magic.
He says, do you want Deacon Durkin to help you? Okay. He says, I do know ritual magic. He says, oh, what curse? What are you cursed with, sir? What do you speak of?
This turd on my face.
And the mole, too.
Okay. He says, well, I'm not a healer, sir. I don't think I would even know where to begin.
You don't know cure disease. You don't know remove affliction.
I'm not a healer, sir. I can cast ascending. I can I can duplicate a document. I don't.
Cast ascending to Lycinopril and see if she can come and help me.
Okay. He's like, today, sir, aren't you leaving?
Yes, let's go.
I can't leave with this.
Okay.
Do you have a scarf that you could just cover up his head?
Just wrap it around his head.
Okay.
Here, I'll tell you what. I pull off my hat, and I pull out this huge purple wizard hat, and I hand that to him. He's like, try and hide under that. And then I put my magic hat back on.
Yes.
And Duriel's going to go consult with Naylock. He's going to... If you'll excuse me a moment, I'm going to go see if Naylock cares to comment on something like this. So I'll be back. And so I'm going to go off, not to the shrine, but to some dark corner.
Okay.
In the shadow. And just the supplication will just be sort of generally what everyone else has been talking about. Like, hey, we're going to be doing this. The voice who the gods sort of we went through your channels, we've done all this stuff, and now we're stuck with this kid who can't walk outside with a wart on his face. What's going on? Help me out here.
Okay. You don't get any answer in particular, Duriel. One way or the other. You do, however, feel that death is closer to you than it should be.
Oh, dear. All right, so he's going to go back in. Well, the god of shadow and vengeance is silent on your wart. Sorry about that. Gizik, perhaps you could supplicate the hag and see if there's any. This seems like sort of a hag thing, as Lachlan has pointed out. So perhaps check in.
I could try, I guess.
Why not?
Gizik, what are you gonna do?
Sigrund,
Where is he doing this out loud in the open, or?
Yeah, he's just like,
yeah,
all right.
pretty much. I just kind of start talking to her right there in front of everybody. Like, Sigrund, I don't know if you did this to Lachlan. If you did, good one. Is there something we can do to help him now?
Okay, Gizik, you hear a faint cackling.
I said, well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Lachlan. It could be Sindel. It could be Sigrund. Maybe it's just you. I don't know.
Kate.
But let's go. You can deal with this on the road.
What if it's more serious than this? What if this is just the first symptom? It went away and it came back in a moment. What if I wake up and my whole face is covered and I suffocate under the weight of this horrible wart?
I don't think you'll suffocate, and maybe it's an improvement.
I would lay your soul to rest.
You are the worst friends ever.
It's just your face.
Amina says we should be on our way.
All right, Lachlan, everyone's staring at you, and you do come to kind of the realization that they're losing their patience with your wart issue.
There's something about Gizik.
Look who's talking, but again,
I didn't do it.
No, there's something that we haven't done or that I've forgotten. And it has to do with you. I know that's confusing, but
You are absolutely correct. That is confusing.
Okay, I will let all of you make insight checks now.
Great so far.
With the information that he has given you.
24.
Oh.
I rolled
All right,
well.
What's the bonus on that?
On insight?
Oh, it's whatever you're trained in. I'm sorry. Yeah.
21.
18.
All right, Moral Khan, you were actually blissfully unaware, as is Anduriel, of whatever he might be talking. But with a 24, Gizik, you seem to recall that Saint Delia Adira gave Lachlan a commandment on some way that he was supposed to help you. That's the only thing that you can think of.
Oh, Morocon wasn't
I do
there.
Recall.
But you're the only one who seems to recall that, and you're not even sure what he would have forgotten to do with you. But it does occur to you that that's the only thing you can think of. You gonna say anything? You gonna say anything, or just sit there and start giggling?
Lachlan. They must have really meant it.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember what Saint Adelia told you to do with me?
Get you new clothes? A makeover?
Yeah. We can skip it, though. We don't need to. You're
we
fine.
most certainly.
No, your face is fine. Let's go.
This could just be the first step. What if it gets worse? What if it spreads to you?
Okay.
Magic.
This has been going on
I can look however I want. I don't need to worry about my face growing moles.
I think what he's referring to is what if something similar happens to you? Is it not the exact same thing?
What if you spontaneously start becoming beautiful?
Oh.
The prettiest hag boy in the world. Durkin!
Okay. He's standing right there watching this whole thing unfold. And you yell Durkin, and he goes, ah! Drops his clipboard again, looks down and scrambles, almost catches it a couple times, and then he picks up his clipboard. He's like, yes, your worship.
We need finery.
We need what?
Finery. Better clothes.
We need frippery.
We need to dapper this guy right up.
Dapper him, your worship?
Yes, like he's going to the ball.
I hear there are quite nice tailors in Horta.
He says you need formal wear.
Well, nice traveling wear.
In his size, sir? Okay, he says, well, I can certainly send away for a tailor, but hadn't you better be on your way, sir? Isn't the first ambassador waiting for you?
Morocon nods vigorously.
Lachlan, perhaps you could just explain the look that you would like to achieve to the ogre, and he can think of it, and his hat will make him look that way. Would that work?
That, if he's willing. Are you willing, Gizik?
Gizik, it will get us out of here.
Gizik, if it gets us on the road to safety.
Fine, I can try something.
Okay.
But I might not stick with it.
First, your clothes. Let's have something in some nice flat front black leather pants.
Does Lachlan start singing? But
not too tight.
Start dressing
not too tight.
Like.
Okay, so in any case, Deacon Durkin looks up and he says, "Sir, shall I have these things ordered in Mr. Gizik's size?"
Yes.
Very good, sir.
Add it to the budget.
Okay.
It's more important than feeding the poor at this point.
Okay.
Oh.
Hold on a moment, Deacon Durkin. Hold on. Our venerable voice may not be thinking very clearly at the moment. Why don't you come with me, Deacon Durkin? You and I, let's go finish preparations for whatever. Lachlan, Gizik, Dragon, please work this out so we can leave soon. So Andurio's going to take Deacon Durkin with him.
Okay. All right. So Deacon Durkin's, yes, counselor, your worship. He looks very confused. He looks very flustered, and he looks a little bit worried. And he looks back at you, Lachlan, like, what in the hell is running this? And he says, Counselor Anduriel, is he well? Should he be traveling?
He's well. It's a fit of youth. It'll pass. I have full confidence in like the boy.
It'll pass like a kidney stone.
It'll pass. The only concern I have is getting out of here, and I'm hoping that us going and leaving them there will accomplish this. He's just had a rough morning. Don't worry too much.
He says, well, sir, we do have glamour attendants in Menor Iden, the city of wizards. Those who employ magic to the betterment of one's appearance. I could send for one of them to come and treat.
We don't have time for any of that. We need to be on our way. We have a magic hat, and if that'll work. If not, we just need to get on the road. So I thank you, and I may reach out to you if this doesn't work. If that insufferable little if things don't work out, I may reach out to you again.
Very well, your counselor.
Thank you so much.
Okay, he walks down the hallway just shaking his head, and you can tell he's like, "Oh, okay," like. He's not quite sure what's going on, and he's certainly a bad impression, shall we say.
Meanwhile, I am now wearing some form-fitting maroon leather pants, kind of a wine red.
Okay, yes. Form-fitting maroon leather pants, huh?
And making it work.
Okay.
Some high-topped boots. With a loose-fitting, very masculine blouse. With a
blouse, you say?
Well, you know, and a small vest.
He's not wearing all these things, right? He's just making them.
I'm just telling him that's what he needs to look like.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm going to start on the face.
Okay.
Like, nose gets a little smaller here. Let's get rid of these tusks.
Okay. You reach up and get rid of the tusks, Lachlan, and you feel a little shock to your fingers.
Okay, leave the tusks.
Okay, you hear from the doorway as Demora steps up. Are we to be on our way?
I do hope so. Shall we go ahead and you can catch up, Lachlan?
Work with me here, Gizik. Work with me.
Oh, okay, fine. I basically look like a pirate now.
Okay.
The glamorous pirate captain look is kind of what you're describing, I think.
All right,
yes,
so Gizik...
with an air of ruggedness.
Nice flowing white frilly shirt with a bright crimson sash. And...
Okay.
Yes.
I picture him looking like this Seinfeld episode where he gets the
pirate shirt episode.
And then Lachlan like raises his hand and says, "Saint Delia, is this good enough? Tell me this is good enough."
There is no response, other than Demora staring at you, and then looking away. And she says, I really do think we should be on our way.
Is it gone?
What's that?
Is it gone?
It's not gone. Gizik sure is enjoying this. Okay. Demora looks up and she says, if he's not well enough to travel, perhaps just the four of us?
Oh, he's well enough. Just,
All right, and then sensitive. She gets a good look at Gizik, and she's like, oh. And then she walks back out the door. Like, what the hell is going on?
We're just, trading places.
Okay, we're cutting off Wart's Lachlan, and Gizik comes out looking like some kind of dashing romantic ogre pirate. And she's like... So, anyway, she walks out the door. Do the rest of you follow, or do you just stand there waiting for Lachlan?
No, I'm going to follow.
Okay.
We need to be off.
Okay, what were the exact words that St. Delia said?
You'll have to make an insight check to see if you can remember them.
Well, didn't Gizik remember?
Exactly, no, but I believe it was just saying help him with his appearance.
26.
Okay, as you try to recall this, Lachlan, you seem to remember very specifically her basically ordering you to help him improve his beauty overall, to help him improve his look, to work with him, and then she also commanded you to moisturize. Not that you've stopped, but.
And you should always wear sunscreen.
But yeah. Anyway, so.
I asked Anduriel, I'm supposed to work with him on his look. What does that mean?
I don't.
He looks great, but it's not real.
But that's not him, is it? You've put a cover on him and covered him up. You haven't really worked with him or on him, and most of what can be done could maybe be done on the road. I know it's hard for you. I know who you are, who you worship in your past, but we need to be moving on. And what better place to work with each other than on the open road? Yes, Lachlan.
Hey, Lachlan, you feel a very warm feeling when Anduriel speaks about working with him and not covering him up, and an even warmer feeling about getting on the road.
That's just the wart.
If you would like, we could find you a mask. We can hide that ugly thing and your wart.
I'm sure the Night Lord has a helmet you could borrow.
Okay, so Moral Khan, you go out there, and as we got there, she goes, "Are you coming?"
Oh, certainly.
Okay, and she says, "How many horses will we require? Just the 4?"
I would assume so. I do long for the road beneath my feet.
Okay. She says, "So just the 4 horses then, not 5. Will he not be joining us?"
Oh, no, my apologies. Yes, 5 horses for the 5 of us.
5 horses. Okay.
Did she come in on horseback, like by herself, or was she like in a
She
carriage?
walked up the road to the estate.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right, so she opens up her pack again, and she pulls out
A horse.
a little. Yes. She opens up.
That's the
She opens up that
greatest
little.
bag of-
Shut up! I'm trying to give an explanation. She opens up that red backpack again and just puts her hand in front of it, and a tiny little brown pouch flies up out of the bag into her hand, and she puts it over the back. She goes out into, walks down the walkway leading up, and walks out to the front of the estate. And she takes something out of the bag, and she chants "Aveta Hiro Crusare," and she throws it out. And where the little sparkling energy, whatever it was that she threw out, where it was, a little kind of shape begins to take place, almost like clay on the ground. And she does it again, "Aveta Hiro Crusare," and she throws it. She repeats that 5 times, and there are these 5 little kind of clay forms, like rising up off the floor and kind of growing in size. And then she just kind of lifts her hands as they grow and says, "Impelia mostro equitamo sextus." And as she finishes the chant, those little kind of white clay forms mold up into full-blown horses with bridles and reins, beautiful white stallions, large enough to carry Morokhan or Gizik. And then she just walks up to the horse, and she easily mounts up. Obviously very comfortable with the horse, gets on, and she turns her horse and moves it into a canter and heads down the road.
Okie dokie.
Isaac, let me take your hat.
But no.
Let me take the hat.
Fine. Here you go.
I take it.
Okay.
All of my fine pirate costume just fades away, and I'm wearing rags again.
You're not wearing rags. Remember, you have a magic robe.
Oh, I do, don't I?
Yep, you have a beautiful green magic armor set.
You're beautiful just the way you are.
Okay.
You have to mean
It's
it,
the
Lachlan.
robe of contingency.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's not boots, you know, it doesn't cover everything, but it looks very nice. It's magical and powerfully enchanted. So, I mean, you do have at least some finery on you, but the rest of your appearance, I don't know how fastidious you are with brushing your teeth or trimming the ear hair or anything like that, but
Just a little bit of prestidigitation
and snip snip. Okay, very nice. All right.
Bard,
So-
are you quite ready to leave now? Can we go?
Lead on. I'll take up the back.
Okay.
Really.
All right, so you guys go clippity cloppeting down the road. In what order are you riding, may I ask? Lachlan's in the back. Demora is in the front.
I'm gonna be next to Gizik. I'll work on his makeover.
And Duriel doesn't trust the witch, so he's close to her to keep her from skullduggery.
Okay.
Morocon's next to Anduriel.
All right, well, the road only has about room enough for 2 horses, so you can ride right behind them if you like. But that's about the size of it. You can be close to them. But Anduriel, so you go clippity-clopping up. You guys leave the town of Winter Run through the north gate, wide open, and the road is before you. And she looks over to you and looks back at Lachlan, and she says, "That was disturbing. You can see that, right?"
Yes, it was a rather large wart, and the hairs. Oh man.
Okay. She says, "Not what I was referring to."
What is it specifically you were referring to? Which?
Well, doesn't it disturb you that... Never mind. It's none of my business.
Speak your mind. We're already out here. We're on the road. I don't care what you have to say anyway. Speak your mind.
Okay. And she says, "If you don't care what I have to say, I ought not to waste my words."
Oh my goodness.
She looks at you and she says, "Wasn't it you who said that I should let my actions speak louder?" I'll hold my tongue. My father always said, holding your tongue takes twice as much effort as saying something clever.
Okay. You do that. I'm glad we got the pouty witch.
Okay. She just kind of tosses you a smile, a grin, and she looks back and nods. She says, "So, you worship the god of death, correct?"
That's correct.
How does one come to worship death in such a way? It's a bit inimical, you might say, to my own views on life and on the preservation of life. How does one come to worship death as a concept?
How about this? I'll grant you, I can be a bit prickly. How about I trade an answer for an answer? You tell me what you were referring to, and I'll answer your question.
About death? What I'm referring to about death?
No. I'll answer your question about death. You tell me what you were referring to about being concerned about, not the wart, the lad.
He is a bit young, now that you mention it. But I suppose that doesn't make much of a difference. I was awfully young when I came to power and leadership. So as we step into the role as we are required to. But he does seem a bit shallow. Doesn't it bother you?
He is a good sort. I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't a bit worried about that myself. But I have shared the road with him. I have been in battle with him. I support him. He may be He may be a little vain. He may be a little whiny. He may be a bit daft. He may be a bit short. I'll stop there. But the point is,
okay, you say all that, you make that list, and she laughs. She's like loudly again, and then she covers her mouth like and looks back, and then tries not to look back, and.
But here's the thing about Lachlan. He is the right person to be the voice of this fellowship because, all that aside, he knows people. He knows people, how they think, how they act, how they react. And he lost it a bit there, that's fine. But generally speaking, when we get into a tight spot, he'll be the one to talk us out, rather than me having to rip everyone's head off.
Oh, and she looks up at you and she smiles and says, ripping people's heads off, is that the tenet of your religion that you were going to tell me about?
No, it's
and she smiles at you kind of playfully, like waiting to see if you'll pick up the bait.
It's sort of a perk of my condition, I guess you could say.
Your condition? What's that?
Oh, surely you've heard of the vampire cleric amongst the fellowship.
And she says, well, there are rumors, but I didn't really believe them. And she looks at you and she says, we are under the light of the sun, and I don't see you bursting into flames. She says, if anything, it makes your hair shine somewhat.
But not sparkle.
Glimmer. It glimmers.
I'll accept glimmer. There is some things about me that nobody really understands, something I don't understand, but I am completely comfortable right now. As to your question about death, how do we worship death as a concept? Is that the question?
Well, I just was wondering what led you to it. I mean, are you among the undead? You are a vampire, one of the accursed.
I walk a strange line. Death.
How do you walk in the daylight?
Death came to me very young. My mother tried to kill me when I was born.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have asked.
Well, I shouldn't have told you. Why am I telling you? Ugh, I'm a man of my word. Yes. I was introduced to death very young. Aged. I was saved. I was raised by a good man. And then I was turned into a vampire. And I gained a new appreciation for the importance of death and its place in life. People don't understand. The dragon behind me, he's a good sword as well, but he doesn't really understand the place of darkness and death with light and life.
All right, Moral Khan's riding right behind us, hears every word you're saying.
Yeah, and Ariel doesn't care.
I'm sure he doesn't.
I'm very happy that we're on the road and we're traveling. I'm singing on the road again, very loudly.
Okay. Very nice. Okay.
At any rate, I understand the place of death in life, and worshipping Naylock helps me understand that death isn't something to be feared or run away from. Although I do work hard to preserve my own life, I will give you that. But it's all part of life.
And she says, that makes sense. I understand. She says, as a witch, particularly a white witch, we value and preserve life at all costs. I've spent much of my time in the craft studying ways to preserve life and to protect it. However, she says, I was taught from very young that death is a natural part of life and it comes to all. The faith of man doesn't accept that entirely. Death does come to most of us, but your gods are immortal. I see no reason why we ought not to enjoy the same benefit. If they can achieve it, why not us?
That is beyond my pay grade, so to speak. I don't mind. I am a vampire, so I'm, as you said, I'm amongst the undead. But I've been an assassin for Naylock for longer than you have been alive, and I actually battle the other undead. It's a concept that I sometimes struggle with as well, but I do know this. I know this. The souls of those who pass on are not ended. We are not ended. So maybe we aren't mortal after all. Maybe there is a bit of immortality even in us. Not the version of the gods' immortality, but our very own. Perhaps.
She nods, and she says, and you say it so easily, that you stand among the ranks of the undead. I find it quite shocking that you're willing to say it so clearly, so honestly. And she looks at you and she says, you are somewhat of a contradiction in many ways to what you espouse. Surely you must see that.
Yes. Yes, I do.
And she says, and while I'm being nosy, what about your diet? I mean, how will we get food for you on the road?
There's food all around me. And he kind of gives her a look.
Okay. All right. Anduriel, you say that, and she frowns. And she says, I do hope that you meant that to be humorous.
Humorous, literal. Either way you want to take it. I'm more than happy to drink your blood, their blood, anyone's blood, other than the blood of innocence has no particular hold for me, but I will say this to you, and this is part of the strangeness that is me. Those people back there, those creatures, they mean more to me than you do. So please don't give us any reason, or me any reason, to suspect that you might harm them, and we'll get along swimmingly.
Okay. She looks at you and she says, I understand what you're telling me, and I expect it won't be the last time you say it to me. You have my word. I will not give you any reason to suspect I may have ill intention, but I will prove it to you.
So far, you have been good to your word, and I recognize that.
And she says, now that being said, I do feel that I need to be straightforward and honest with you. She says, and she looks up at you and she looks you right in the eye, and she says, I am trained to defend myself from such as you, and my vow as a white witch does not extend to the undead. And she just stares at you for a second and looks back. And she says, I'm sorry, but I felt that need to be said.
Say anything you like. Nobody's ever properly trained to meet death.
Now that, I think we can agree on. And Morokhan's on the road again. Okay. And she says, oh, maybe Lachlan would like to favor us with a song. Like,
I start singing it in Draconic now.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Alrighty. She speeds up the horse. Goes a little bit faster. And moves on. Anything anybody else wants to ask her, or anything you want to ask each other before we continue on?
I just want to. I want to start delving into with Gizik, and trying to draw out some empathy from him, maybe some goodness.
What's Gizik's response to this wheedling or coaxing?
How is that supposed to help me? All you're trying to do is, control me and change who I am.
No, I'm trying to unlock the best you. Unlock the best you. I'm not trying to make you into me. I'm trying to make you into a better you. You are better than your mother ever let you be.
Oh, I thought you were going to just stop after mother, and I would have agreed.
She didn't set the bar really high. All right. So you are continuing this back and forth. Perhaps the conversation will continue. At some point, I imagine Gizik probably speeds his horse up, like, "Oh, I need to go to the bathroom," or whatever. Journey to Horta City is going to take several days, and we're kind of just heading down the main road. The first day passes pretty easily of travel, and it goes very well. And you find that Demora has a number of different enchantments that she uses in order to facilitate both comfort and travel. She's able to conjure food, and she does so. She has the ability to speed your mounts, and they move a little bit faster. She casts that spell. She can conjure a magical campfire, but she does a variety of things that you can tell she's not only used to traveling, but she's magically prepared to travel with anything that you would need in order to be successful. But be that as it may, towards the end of your second day of travel, you've been in the saddle now for quite some time, and she says that that we're in luck because the Wandering Dragon Inn is a wonderful place to stop for the evening, where everybody can get a good night's sleep and where you can get started early in the morning and whatnot. She conjures the horses, but you can't ride all day long. The road itself to Horta is fairly well maintained and tended. You see some Just Blades on patrol. They ride past you along the way. But anyway, she says she could use a drink, maybe some spiced wine at the Wandering Dragon, and a bed and whatnot.
Wandering Dragon sounds like my type of facility.
Well, she looks up at you and smiles. And she looks up at you and smiles, and she says, "Actually, I think you'll love it."
Excellent.
And she says, I think you'll find you get fewer stairs there than you otherwise would. So you come up upon the inn, and it is the evening. It's probably about 10 o'clock in the evening. You've been riding all day. You're tired. Her enchantment doesn't have too much longer, and the horses will vanish. And she sees them. She's like, oh, thank the earth itself. And she dismounts off the horse and just kind of stretches, and you get the idea. You're like, she doesn't look like maybe she's used to the rigors of travel that perhaps the four of you are, or Gizik, who's probably sleeping in a shed on the ground, any number of places that he's had to sleep because he got thrown out of the cottage. But she's stiff and sore, and while she looks very attractive and elegant, she doesn't look like she's built for hard labor. She's more of a scholar, you might say. Anyway, you come upon the inn, and it's a beautiful and very happy-looking structure. The inn itself is a wooden structure for the most part. It's a 2-story wooden building that has painted beautiful green shutters with a gilded edge, like gold around the edge of it. And then the doorway of the inn itself is a beautiful wooden arch that's been carved to look like a dragon's maw. And it actually has been carved into the shape of a golden dragon. And anyway, so when you walk into the inn, it looks like you're walking into a dragon's mouth. And you see that there are, on the windowsills, there are flowers, and there are painted gold dragons on a green background. It's an absolutely beautiful inn. And she walks in through the door. Do you follow?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. In fact, I'll probably be the first one to bust through the door. This place looks amazing.
Okay, so you walk in through the door, and there's a bit of a hallway in the door. It's not just door and then you enter into the inn, but there's a bit of a hallway, and you have to go down some stairs. So you head down a few stairs, and you are now in, if I'm looking at this correctly, you are in square 23A and B. That's where you guys are standing on the map. You're in square 23A and B, and that's you step in. It's what? That's door?
The bottom of the stairs.
Oh, stairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're on the stairs, yeah. So you go through a short hallway, and then the stairs lead you down, and there is a beautiful basically a tap room that you see. In the center of the inn, of this tap room, there are two counters that are kind of opposite each other that you can see in the middle. One of them is a bar, and you can see from on the stairs like numerous barrels that are under the counter with taps that have easy waist level access, and also a shelf on either side with many bottles of wine. So there's just every kind of spirit down there. That bar also, if you look at the number of squares, is long, and it's got tons of liquor. On the other side, opposite, you see a stove with a fire warming the area, and there is actually a woman, a thin woman with kind of a white apron on, and she's got some silver hair. She's got some, brown hair with silver streaks running through it, and it's all pulled up into kind of a bun, not fancy. And she is chop. She's cooking right in front of people on that counter. It's not like a Benihana, so she's putting things in the oven, but she's preparing the food in front of everybody. She's pulling bread out, and she's moving with a deft precision that is admirable, if not entertaining. And then at the bar, you see a dapper-looking gentleman in a purple suit. He looks kind of like a grape. He's got purple leggings and kind of a white skirt, around his waist, and a big puffy purple shirt, kind of like that pirate shirt Gizek had. And he has a bright green hat on, and embroidered across his purple shirt is a golden dragon. And he's got a little red sash kind of running around that almost covers the dragon. He moves out of the way so the dragon will show. And he's got a big, thick, curly mustache, like Salvador Dali mustache. And he just is smiling. Where the cook is busy and moving artfully, he's smiling, talking to people, playing it up, just entertaining. And you also see a number of interesting-looking kind of heat lamps that look really kind of advanced technology for a medieval kingdom era. So you're wondering if it was made by goblins or dwarves or some race that is a little bit more advanced. But that's
Electric,
General Electric, something like that. And that's what you see in square 15G and 9G, and the ones that look like that around the room. Otherwise, those squares are tables, and then of course there's a stairwell in the back, and then there's a doorway. In the corner of the inn, you see something extremely interesting. There is some kind of beast in a cage in the corner, and you can't quite tell through the bars what it is. If you got closer, you could make a check, but that's what you're looking at.
Are there any empty tables?
Yes, there are empty tables. So that very first table that you see right there, is the only one that is not occupied. There's nobody at that table. Okay. All of the other tables that you see, the chairs are all full.
Okay, well, I'm going to...
The bar has a couple of places that are empty as well. Okay. But the restaurant does not. Every seat at the area where she's cooking is filled.
Okay. Well, Morocon is very excited about this inn. This place looks amazing.
Now, I should mention also, Morocon, that you particularly would notice as you come in, those heat lamps, the top of them, they're metal, but they've been worked into the shape of a dragon. So the top of the heat lamps, there's fire coming out, and it's been carved into the shape of a dragon's mouth, like breathing fire upward. Oh. There's a chandelier up at the top that's above the bar area, and it's been carved into a dragon that's like biting its own tail, has candles up. I mean, the place is very themed and whatnot.
This is a draconic haven.
Anyway, all kinds of people, mostly human, that you see. There are some people, with cloaks pulled up in the corner, looking like they're trying to avoid being looked at. There's a guy talking to a girl on the stairs. He looks like he's trying to get something. He's leaning over her, kind of chatting her up and whatnot. And it's pretty busy. But you walk in the door, and somebody points at you, like out of the corner. And the man at the bar with the big curly mustache looks up at you, and she goes, "Oh, welcome! welcome to the Wandering Dragon Inn. Okay, and he yells out, he's like, bid him welcome, look at him, look. And everyone's like, hey, and they raise up their flagons and look at you.
I'll wave back. Hey.
Demora laughs, and she looks up at Morocon, and she laughs, and she puts her hand on your arm, just companionably, and smiles. You do notice a couple of people are like, whoa, wow, like, and so most of the people raise their laughs and they're like, hey, but some people are staring at you like, whoa. Okay.
No fears. I am just here to enjoy an evening with good company. Enjoy yourselves, everyone.
Okay. All right, you do that, and the guy at the bar master goes, what's that?
Is there like a live band playing or something? Like, is there?
There's not.
Okay.
There doesn't even look to be a stage area in here.
Okay.
Gizik, do you come in after with Lachlan?
Yeah. I'll come in with Lachlan, I'll nudge him and point at the grape guy, and I'll be like, hey, is that what you want me to dress like? Because I don't really like it.
Okay. All right. So,
of course, I'm sure it's loud enough that everybody can hear.
All right, you walk in, and Gizik, as you kind of come out the stairs, Morocon, you walk in down the stairs off. Gizik, you walk in, and the people who looked back are like, oh, like, and so then you everybody's kind of like staring, and they eventually turn away and they're uninterested, but they're like, wow, it's a freak show tonight. And then Lachlan walks in with a wart, and some woman goes, ah!
No, I gave him my hat. I'm sure he's concealed the wart very well.
I'm sure he has. I'm sure it's covered. I'm just kidding. Anyway, the man with the grape guy with the curly mustache looks over and she says, well, we have esteemed visitors. He says, we must sing the welcome song, everyone. And the chef lays down her knife, and she puts down the pan and sets it aside and starts going. And pretty soon, a lot of the patrons, not all of them, seem to know what's going on, but they start clapping too. One of the there are a couple serving people. There's a serving boy and a serving girl, and they kind of put down the drinks that they're serving and start banging on their trays. And he bursts into song, and then other people join him, and there's like 16 people singing. They're like, welcome to the Dragon's Inn. You're in the door and down his chin. Here be treasures of food and drink. If you've got coins that jingle and dink, welcome, say the dragon. Welcome, say the dragon. Welcome, say the dragon. What would you find in the dragon's trove? And then people start shouting things out like, coins, women, and then somebody will pick it up and they'll be like, you found coins in the dragon's trove, and like whatever, and they just kind of sing it. It's almost like row row your boat, but a ton of these people seem to know it. And Morocon, as you come by, they raise their drinks to you and they sing, and then they look at Gizik, and a few of them are like, oh, and they spill their drink. But anyway, it's just
as the song ends, Morocon is just eating this up. So as the song ends,
it doesn't sound like a song that ends.
And there's like, what did I find? Peace and quiet.
As the song seems to come to an end, he'll burst a little bit of fire out. Just yes.
Okay, you blow fire out, and people are like, oh, like, and then they burst into applause. There are a few people who get up and like move with their drink to the back of the room. Oh my gosh, what is going on? But at least half the patrons seem to be really into it. They're not bothered one way or the other.
Awesome.
Anyway, Demora has gone and sat down at the bar while all of this hullabaloo is going on. And she even joins in the song where she can. Lachlan, you could pick it up easily if you wanted to. But there you have it. So the grape gentleman with the curly mustache looks up and she says, come in, sit down at the table. What can I get you? I am Brewmaster Jean-Pierre.
Have you any cuisine from the far west?
Okay. He says, have we any cuisine? Giselle, have we any cuisine? And she just rolls her eyes and keeps she says, she can make for you whatever you want. If you want the pie, she will make you the pie. If you want the fillet of fish, she will fillet the fish. Whatever you want. Magnifique. Okay. Would like all of you to please make an insight check.
17.
15.
18.
19.
Okay.
Really well.
There's something off about this dude, something artificial, but you can't put your finger on it. It's not anything insidious. It's just he seems fake somehow.
You don't say.
It doesn't feel like anything sinister. You just get the feel like he's kind of fake.
I use my heart sight on him.
You use your heart sight on him.
Mm-hmm.
Make an insight check.
23.
Okay, he has more than an average amount of love. It would seem. You do get the impression that he loves coins a lot. Like you pick up a very distinct love of money on this fool. But he does seem like he has more than his average amount of love.
Okay. By the way, fellas, with my level 6 feat, I took group mind link, so y'all can now talk amongst each other through my head without me having to be the note passer.
You're like the intersection.
They don't know that yet, though. So how will they find that out?
Probably when they try it, and it's just going to happen. So, mentally in the mind link, I say to them, watch your coin here, boys. This guy has more than a passing interest in our money.
And Durio's gonna say, if Morocon can watch his profile, that would be nice. That would probably help. We're not here to party. We're here to rest and get back on the road.
Are you including Demora in this? Because she's all the way over at the bar now.
No.
Okay. All right. She's sitting there. She's ordered a wine, and she's just sitting there at the bar. Kind of, her eyes are closed, and she's sipping her wine. She looks pretty tired and pretty happy to be relaxing. But anyway, where would you guys like to alight? There are 2 seats now left at the bar. The table all the way at the back by the stairs. The people get up as Moral Khan blows flame, and they kind of walk over into the corner by the cage. And then the table closest to the stairs is also open. For anybody who might be looking, there's the bar. Ta-da.
And Durio would probably move to the one by the stairs so he can keep an eye on the whole room.
Okay. Andriel, tell me what square you want to be in.
Are the X's chairs?
Those are chairs, yes.
Okay. So 21 G.
21G. Okay.
Is this a type of an establishment where, like, a server would take our orders at a table? Like, do we need to...
Yeah.
Just pick a table and go sit?
If you sit down at a table, then the serving girl or serving boy, there are 2 of them, will wander by soon.
Okay. Then I will take a seat next to Andoriel.
All right. Lachlan and Gizik, where are you?
I'll sit in 19F.
All right.
And I'll sit in 18G.
Okay. All right. So a serving girl pops over to the table not long after you guys sit down, and she says, "Welcome to the Wandering Dragon Inn." And she looks at Morocon and she says, "And welcome to you most especially." She says, "It's not often that we have one of your heritage grace us with your presence. You are only the," she says, "you are the other dragonborn to come this evening, but
the other."
And she says, "Yes, there's that gloomy-looking fellow over there in the corner. And she points back to the table by the cage.
Okay. Is he covered up? Do I recognize him or?
You can't see this fool. I mean, he's all the way on the other side of the bar, and it's crowded as crap.
Okay.
She's just pointing back towards the cage area, where there's some kind of critter in a cage that people are staring at and whatnot. And she says it's and she kind of just throws out some prices for you. It's a copper if you'd like a simple meal. It's 5 silver if you want a fancy feast. And not the not the kind
what, like the cat food.
Break me off a piece of that fancy feast.
Yeah. Meow 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 meow. So
that's wrong brand. Brand.
So anyway, that's more or less what you're looking at.
Okay. Well, I would like to have everyone sample some cuisine from New Tarsa.
Okay. All right. They do quite a bit of seafood in New Tarsa.
Oh yes.
So being that much of the city is so near the coast of the west, so of the northwest, and also the cold water, so they do a lot of crab, crustaceans, and things like that. She says we can put out a Tarsarian spread for you. It'll take a little time. Are you able to wait?
Oh, we'll be here for the night, I'm sure. Are there any rooms available? Would you know this?
And she says I'll check with Brewmaster, but I believe we have at least 7 that have popped up. Will you be staying just the night or for several?
Just the night, I'm sure. Right,
okay.
Guys? And I'll look at everyone else.
Okay.
Right. Correct. Yes.
Yeah, we don't want to be here too long.
Okay.
I say, order me something. I'm gonna go take a look at this cage, and I want to walk toward the cage.
Okay. So you walk over towards the cage, Lachlan, and Demora sees you walk by, and she raises her glass of wine, and then she points to the bartender like, and again. Okay. Anyway, but she smiles at you and raises her glass. So you go walking by the cage, and the serving boy walks past you, Lachlan, and he looks at you, and then he stares at you like really weird for a minute. Looks away and keeps like walking.
More.
Okay.
Is that what he's staring at?
Well, how would you know? You've covered it up with the hat. Nobody's seen it at this point. But anyway,
what's he staring at?
What you want to stop and ask him?
Yes.
Is the disguise he's wearing doesn't affect it? Like it still points out.
Hey,
that would be amazing.
Please no.
All right.
Please
what do you
no.
do, Lachlan? Grab him.
What are you looking at?
The Kushi, and he points to the cage. It's a beautiful creature, don't you think, sir?
Cue the crickets.
I have to be back about my duties, and he scoots away. He runs.
Okay.
Maybe it is covering up the one mole, but the other 6 are sticking out.
All right, and Lachlan, he yells out as he's running, like fairly running away from you. He shouts out, he's like, "It's a gold piece if you want to feed the Kushi." And then he hustles over to the bar, goes into the bar area, and says something to the brewmaster, and loads up his tray with drinks and goes back about his business. You going back over?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty.
I'm gonna saddle up next to Endurial with a tankard.
All right.
And I'll chat with him for a sec. So I only caught bits and pieces of the conversation you were having.
That's what you see, Lachlan. A Kushi. That's what it looks like. It's kind of like a dog that looks like a cross between a dog and a leopard.
Okay.
Okay. And it looks really happy too. It's just munching on a bone. Looks up. It comes up to the cage occasionally, and people will pet it. And it looks like this sweet animal. And it goes back to chewing up the bone. Someone comes up to the cage and he sticks his head up and lets them pet him. It's just generally the animal is, despite being in the cage, seems to be really happy. Wags its tail happily, dances in a circle, sits back down, chews on the bone, and all of that. But anyway, if you had knowledge nature, you can make a knowledge nature check, but you can make one if you want to.
I don't have it.
Anybody else want to make a knowledge nature check? No, you're not over there. Never mind.
I'm not over there.
All right. So in any case, all of this is going on. Lachlan, you're walking over there. Lachlan, you walk over there to the dog. How close do you want to get?
Close. I mean,
you want to pet it, or you just want to look at it?
I just want to look at it.
All right. So it's a beautiful animal. It's one of the kind of things that Sindel would prize. And Saint Delia Adira would very much prize it. But anyway, you walk over to the cage and someone looks at you and goes, ooh, looks back at the dog. Okay, meanwhile, across in the bar, Anduriel, some lady walks over to you who was kind of, where the words tap room are at the edge? She was kind of leaning up against the wall. She's wearing what looks like a very like dark red rusty velvet kind of material, like it's like a shawl over a long red dress that's kind of slit up the side, and her hair, she has dark black hair and dusky colored skin, like it's not black like a dark elf skin or blue tinged, but it's just kind of grayish almost. It's white and gray tinged, and she's got it pulled back into a long kind of, ornate styled kind of little ponytail business in the back. And she's quite attractive. She has her nose pierced and her lip is pierced. And you can tell she's some kind of an elf. If you make a knowledge, Arcana is for Fae, right? Mm-hmm. Make a knowledge Arcana check. You can identify what kind of elf she is.
I'm not trained, so we'll see how this goes. Oh dear, that's a 3 on the dice.
Gizik and Morocon, you can make the check too if you want.
Okay. Not that I'm trained at it, but...
Okay, what did you get, Anduriel? Anyone else? No?
I got an 18.
I got an 8.
All right, so the two of you are like, oh, it's Gray Elf person. Gizik,
hello, lady.
Am I close enough?
No, you're all the way on the other side. Gizik, you're reasonably sure that she's a Shadar Kai, which is a kind of elf that is native to the Shadowfell. But she has plantar blood, and her race is certainly not native to Ienia. Ienia has lots of high elves, wood elves, wild elves, but they don't have, and dark elves, but they don't have a lot of Shadar Kai. Which is interesting. So anyway, she's an oddity for sure, as much as Aelin would be an oddity, the tiefling, who is a member of the Hallowed Council. So in any case, Anduriel, she walks over to you, and I would like you to make, if you would please, would you please make an insight check?
Yes, I will roll a different dice this time.
I try that all the time. It never helps much.
It's a 19. Yeah, 19.
Okay. Anduriel, she walks over to you and she has a mug of ale in her hand. It's got a glass bottom to it, and it has a gray, just a little gray thing. She wanders over to the table and she goes, "Wow, you just walk around looking like that all the time, huh?"
Anduriel's gonna hold a finger up to her like that. Hold on. I was listening to my dragon friend's story here. And so he just ignores her.
Okay. She is looking you up and down, and she is not even remotely shy about it.
So Morocon, I assume, will kind of start to feel how awkward it is and maybe finish up his tale.
She takes a step closer.
So, and Anduriel, as we were traveling, I did notice there's this gray elf woman that is trying so desperately to get your attention. I'm not sure what to do from here. She seems very interested in you.
Yes, they do that, don't they? So he turns and looks. What can I do for you?
Okay, she walks over and pulls back at the slit and reveals a very shapely leg, and she raises it kind of alluringly and looks at you, and she says, well, I don't know. I think you're doing quite a lot for me just sitting there improving the environment, honey. And she takes a drink of her mug.
Oh dear.
It seems she wants a piece.
Does he say that out loud?
Yes. Yes, he does.
All right. She says, I'm as adventurous as the next girl, honey, but I don't do the scales.
He's just going to say, look, madam, I don't know what you're all about, but I'm here to have a drink, have some food, and then move on in the morning to get back on the road with these fine fellows. So if you don't mind, I'll turn back. He'll kind of turn back to his meal and to the table.
Okay. She walks up uncomfortably close to you, Anduriel, and she leans up against you.
Oh my gosh.
And just drinks her drink, and she says, oh, why you gotta be so mean? And then she winks at you and takes another drink.
So Anduriel's
She's full-on leaning her whole body against you.
He's gonna kind of send through the mind link, Lachlan, get over here, please.
Lachlan is too far away.
Oh, for the mind link? Okay.
Not that you know that. So Anduriel's like,
I'm screaming like.
So, Morokhan's going to remember the impression he got in the shrine. Can he make an insight check on this girl real quick?
Sure.
Ugh, and he doesn't roll very well. Okay, so what does a 12 get me?
A 12 gets you an honorable mention.
Oh, great.
With your insight check, Morokhan, you incite that she's horny. Congratulations.
Do we all know that we can speak to each other through the mind link, or?
No, you haven't tested it out yet, and Lachlan hasn't
Okay.
said anything. I mean, Ryan says something, but Lachlan has not.
Okay.
And he's too far away, and by now you would know that far away, his telepathy doesn't work.
Okay, well, Anduriel's gonna kind of stand up and kind of by her shoulders and sit her in the chair next to Gizik.
Okay, hold on. You stand up, you take her by the shoulders, and she wraps her leg around you, and she says, oh, I thought you'd never.
Someone moves fast.
Why don't we have a seat and you can tell me all about yourself?
All right. She puts one of her arms around you, and she reaches up and goes like this on your face, and she goes, I think that's a great idea, but I actually have a better one. And then she reaches up and scratches at her neck and digs a little welt into her neck, and blood drips out. Okay? Anduriel, I would like you to make an endurance check.
Okay.
You are going to need at least an 18.
And Gizik says, Anduriel, I don't think this is a good idea.
Oh, crap.
No, stop.
Okay. Anduriel, you bite her.
Of course I do.
So before he tries to lean over and bite her, Morokhan's going to try to grapple Anduriel.
Okay, Morokhan, I would like you to make... Let's see, how should we do this? Let's make opposed dexterity checks.
Oh, gosh.
Anduriel, make a dexterity check. Roll at half your level in your dex mod. Morokhan, roll at half your level in your dex mod.
19.
23.
Okay. Morokhan, you see his fangs go out, and and you're like, oh, and you try to grab and you tug.
Anduriel, no.
But Anduriel, you bite right into her neck, and she goes, oh. And then she looks up and she says, thanks. She says, thanks, honey. And she pats you on the neck. And then she starts screaming, ah! Vampire! Vampire! Ah!
Yep. I knew it.
Oh, this is... Yeah.
Anduriel, you do gain a healing surge.
Oh.
Hey, there is a bonus.
So, congratulations. Let's mark that down. So you gain 3 healing. Okay. People are like, oh my gosh, what is going on? And then from that table on the left that you see in squares A and B, so that kind of long table right here, a man stands up in a blue robe, like aquamarine robe almost, stands up, and he pulls back the cowl of his hood, and you can see he's actually got like bluish green hair, and his skin is got a kind of a greenish blue tint to it. And he goes, it's a vampire! Quick, holy water! And he pulls out a vial of holy water and he chucks it at you.
Like vial and everything?
Uh-huh. Yeah. With a big old shield of Bestera symbol on the vial that he hucks at you. Pops the cork off and he flings it at you. And you know what it is now, my friends?
Oh, jeez.
Please roll for initiative.
I just wanted to stay the night and have a good meal, guys.
Well, I had a good meal.
Yes, you did. All right, tell me what you got.
13.
8.
25. Now I roll whatever.
Okay.
24.
Alrighty. Let me go back. Right, 21. All right, Anduriel, my friend, you are first. This guy is about to chuck some water at you. On the plus side, you're fed. It's kind of, you're getting a good drink.
That's fantastic.
Isn't it, though?
It is the best. It's probably the best thing that's ever happened. So I'm wondering if I can do an acrobatics check and like dodge the projectile.
Well, if you want to use your standard action, you can take the total defense and try to dodge it, but you can't just make an acrobatics check to dodge someone's attack, unfortunately.
Okay. That's okay.
So if you want to take total defense, then you can boost yourself that way.
Well, I'm just.
But
wondering...
you can move out of the way. You could duck under the table, and then there's no way he'll hit you.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Like, if it's in the air, can I just take my normal turn, like a move, and then go get him? You
could interrupt him. He is in square 15D. So you can certainly reach him.
Okay.
If you're going to take a normal movement.
I think what I'm going to do... I don't know. Because this might just be a misunderstanding.
All right.
Wishful thinking.
It's a pretty... You get the impression that she knows exactly what she's doing.
Okay. Well, then I'm not going to let her go.
Oh, really?
No.
You just gonna hold on for some loving?
Well, if she's... I feel like I've been played a little bit. And I'm
you've been played. Yeah.
And I'm a bit angry about that. And so we're going to turn that accidental bite into taste of life. And
okay.
I'm going to attack her.
All right, I will give you greater combat advantage because she is in your arms. You can roll twice.
Good, because that was 2. Dang it, new dice. Okay, hold on. There we go. That is 18. 25.
That's a hit, sir.
Yes. Okay. We got the die 8. So that is 6. 15 points of damage.
Okay. Oh.
And I'm doing Blood Drinker, so I'm going to add 1 die 10 worth of damage to that.
And you get another surge. You're up to 4 now.
And that was 10. Sweet.
Very nice. Okay.
And I gain temporary hit points, but okay.
Okay. Very nice. All right. So, Andriel, you hold on to her and you start sapping her energy just by touch. And then you drink more of her blood. And she goes, "Oh, honey, not so rough."
You wanted the fangs? Here they are.
Okay. But she hurts and she goes stiff in your arms, but she also seems really quite poised and ready. As you crush up against her, you become aware of numerous like hard metallic objects pressed up against her that she's hiding under that lovely red shawl and dress that she's wearing. The girl is stacked, and I ain't talking up top. I'm talking she's just covered in weapons. And that would be it. Okay, and that is Andriel's turn. So, do you want to do anything else?
No, let's see how this goes.
Okay. All right, so there you are, Andriel, and she is right next to you in square 21F. Okay. It is now Lachlan's turn. Lachlan, you're over by the cage. People where you are, Lachlan, they are not really sure what's going on. She's screaming vampire. You can see Anduriel is standing, and it looks like he might be biting her. He might be kissing her. You can't really tell because there are people everywhere and a bar and a stove and an oven between you. But someone's screaming vampire. Loudly and repeatedly.
Okay. I want to pull out my instrument and start playing it as loud as I can, and I want to start singing the most common folk song I can possibly, loud body folk song that pops into my head.
Okay.
And try to distract, and as I walk over there, playing this song.
Oh, Black Betty, bam.
Okay. All right. Lachlan, you better have like a tuba or something. Yeah. Anyway,
band.
Lachlan, are you going to take a movement?
Yeah.
Okay, I would like you, if you would please, to make either an athletics or an acrobatics check. There is a crowd in the area, and if you can't move deftly, it will be like you're in difficult terrain.
Okay.
So you need at least a 15, acrobatics or athletics.
29.
Okay, so you can take a full movement. Tell me where you want to end up.
I want to end up W11.
Okay. Boom, W. All right, so you end up right between those two tables.
Actually, well, yeah. Can I double move and play?
It's usually a minor action to use Bardic Inspiration, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Then, yeah, you can double move and play.
So then I'll actually end up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put me at 16T.
All right.
And yeah, I am playing like I've never played before. Like, this is life or death, trying to distract the whole room with everybody's favorite body tavern song.
Okay, so you're singing this wonderful, lovely bawdy tavern song. I don't suppose you have a title for it, do you? We're just going to assume it's the Love Follies of the Halfling. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what's common in these parts.
Well, you need to make a performance check, my friend, regardless. So go ahead.
You can do that.
Your performance check will tell us either how well you chose or how well you played, or both, rather.
Rolled a 15. I have a plus 12, so 27.
Jeez.
Okay. So 27. Lachlan, you start playing. You got to move pretty deftly. Was that an athletics check or an acrobatics check you made?
Athletics.
All right. So you kind of just sprint and kind of deftly dodge through the crowd, and you manage to dart there before the crowd can move, and you head off a bunch of people who are moving, and you're like, "Well, I'll tell you a story of some really glory," like that, and then everyone's looking at you like, "What?" And it's not so much that they're distracted, but they're looking at you like, what are you doing? There's a problem in the corner and you're playing. And then some of them are like, oh, man, he good. Shoot. Okay. And as you begin playing, some of the people at those two tables like above you, they start clapping their hands and stomping. And a few people actually pick up the song and start singing with you. And one of the people elbows the other people like, shut up. Let him sing it, okay, and whatnot. So you've managed to distract a significant portion of people on the other side of the room. Now, Anduriel, it would be her turn. And let's see what she wants to do to you. All right, first things first. She is going to shift back a square away from you. And she will be in square 22E as she moves back closer to the stairs. And she keeps screaming, vampire! Oh! Vampire! And she's like, my neck! Look at my neck! She coughs. He bit me. And she's like, I think I'm going to faint. It is such BS as she rolls a 3 on her bluff check that you all knew it was crap, but
Morocon leans over to Gizik and just says, I think she's bluffing.
Okay. But anyway, she pretends like she's falling to the ground, and Anduriel, she lifts up a blowgun and goes, ah! And she blows a dart at you. What is your AC, Anduriel?
16.
All right. So she is going as a plus 11. She needs a 5, and she gets a 12. So she got you. Anduriel, you take 7 points of damage. She hits you kind of, it's a pretty long dart, and she hits you with this dart, and it kind of hits you right square in the neck. And unfortunately, you are blinded until the end of her next turn.
Okay.
Actually, wait, no, I have to make a poison attack. What's your fortitude now?
Fortitude is 20.
Okay, nope, she rolled a 1. The poison did not work.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, but she hits you with this blowgun, and you can feel your eyes start to cloud up, but you wipe your eyes and shake it off quite easily.
I'm going to wipe my eyes and look over at her, and I am so furious at this lady. He's gonna shout, like he's gonna look up and shout, Naylock, bring to life the shadow of my vengeance.
Oh, jeez.
And he's gonna send his shadow over to start choking said woman.
Oh, the woman you just bit. Well, that'll pretty much seal the deal. Okay.
Oh, gosh. Oh, jeez.
All right.
He is mad.
Wow.
He's mad.
Okay.
That escalated quickly.
That did escalate very quickly. Okay. Go ahead and make your attack. What is the defense?
Shadow of Naylock. It doesn't have one listed. It just says immediate reaction.
That's right.
Channel
you don't have to attack. This isn't Lachlan's power. Okay, what's the first round of effect?
Blinded.
Okay.
Takes ongoing 5 necrotic damage.
Yeah, she's not blinded. She takes 5 points of necrotic damage at the beginning of her turn. Okay. All right. Which is not now. So she's finishing her turn. All right. She pulls out a dagger, and she she grabs a vial and she flips the lid off the vial and pours some kind of liquid over the dagger. And she looks at you and smiles, and she hucks the dagger at you with her action point. Okay, what's your AC? Never mind, it's 15.
Jeez.
Okay, she got a 21, which I'm pretty sure hits you.
Yeah, it hits.
Oh, jeez.
Her dagger hits you right in the side of your stomach, Anduriel, and it does 14 points of damage. And then you feel the poison. 21 versus your fortitude.
Fortitude's 20.
Okay, she just got you. Anything anybody can do?
I'm too far away.
You are too far away, unfortunately.
There's nothing I can do yet.
Okay. So Anduriel, you fall asleep and drop down to the floor.
Okay.
And now, Morocon, you see someone come running towards Anduriel from square 19S. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he finishes his turn in square 22H.
Okay, so right up next to Anduriel.
Yep.
Okay.
He double moves to get to Anduriel, and with his second action, I need to write down action point has been used. He pulls out a wooden stake and tries to stab it in sleeping Anduriel's heart.
Oh, jeez.
Unfortunately, sleeping Anduriel is helpless, which means that this is an automatic critical hit. And he...
Is there anything I can do to interrupt or stop?
You can watch your friend die.
Well,
Isn't that...
I'm
About the
confused by
size of it.
I'm confused by the rules. Is it my turn? Can I?
It's not your turn yet, unfortunately. No, we're just following the normal progression of initiative.
Oy.
Okay, and he hits you. And does... Actually, sorry, I don't know why I'm rolling. It's an automatic critical. So, Anduriel, he does 12 points of damage to you and rams the stake into your chest. Okay? And now I will roll the 1d6. If I land on the 6, guess what happens?
JT's rolling a new character. Oh, gosh.
Oh. Okay. However, okay, by now, you have seen what's going on. He rams this stake into your chest, okay? And Demora, who has moved over from the bar, looks up at you, screams, and she goes, "Istate verantas!" And he takes the stake, and he rams it, and goes, "Ugh!" And he falls over and rolls forward on the stake. And she forces him to re-roll that, which is a 4. Boom. Okay, so he rams the stake into your chest.
Holy crap.
Does the 10 points of damage, but then as he goes deeper, he like inadvertently stumbles and falls on your chest. And he's standing there sideways with the stake halfway in your chest. And trips, and he goes, "What the hell's?" And Morocon, you get a good look at him, and he is a black dragonborn. Just FYI. As he looks up, and you get a good look at him from there. What are you down to, Anduriel?
I'm down to 25.
Okay.
But he's awake, right?
Yes, he is now awake. And then
Actually, 26. Sorry, 26.
You are still in a bad position. That stake is still in your chest. And if something else not significant done, he could try to ram it into your chest again on the next round. However, Demora Octavius has just saved your life.
Dang it.
So,
but thank you, but dang it.
Yeah. Okay, and they have both used their action point. Morocon, it is now your turn, my friend.
All right. Well, he is very confused by all of this. So he's going. Well, Anduriel's awake, so I will cast Healing Word on Anduriel.
Okay, you can heal that wound up around the stake. It'll look great.
Right. So, and then he will walk. He'll run around between this gray elf lady and her escape from the out the door.
I'm
going to stand between her and the door. So I'm in 22D.
All right.
And I will. Okay, well, I'm going to. What do I want to do? Okay, well, I'm going to use my. I'll use my minor to get into my stance.
Okay.
But then I'm also going to.
You're gonna hit that poor woman?
Oh no! What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my action. Actually.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold my attack, but I want to make sure that she does not leave.
Okay. All right. Well, she sees you moving around her and doesn't look like she's it. So, Morocon, hold action. You want to say something?
I'll wait. I will hold my action for if she either tries to run away or make an attack. I will hold an action for that.
Okay.
I'll tell her just. I think you know exactly what you're getting yourself into here, and you're not prepared for it.
Okay. She smiles. She looks back at you, and she just smiles at you, just kind of macabre, given that she's got blood, dripping down her neck. But she is wearing a red dress, so, and shawl.
That bite is the least of your worries right now.
She looks back at you and just smiles. That's all she has time for. Gizik, it's your turn, my friend. What would you like to do?
I'm going to try to bewitch her. Versus Will, it is a 21.
That, my friend, would be successful. You have bewitched her. She falls under your power.
And her will has been lowered by 1.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, so
quick. So I cast Healing Word on Anduriel. Do I roll the 1d6 for him?
Yes, it's your power. You roll the 1d6.
Okay. You get... so it's your surge value plus... I rolled a 5 plus 3.
Gizik,
So
her
8.
will is now 17.
Okay. Well, then I will tell her, now it's your turn to sleep, and attack her with Bewitching Slumber.
Good luck.
Nice.
So that is a 22.
That'll do, pig. That'll do. Very nice. What happens on the first round? She slowed?
Slowed. Save ends, yeah.
Okay. All right.
The -2 penalty against saving throws for that.
Oh, poor her.
And she gets some damage as well. 9 psychic damage.
And does she have any problem with it? Yep, she is just going to take that. All right, so Gizik, she's like, you fling your magical energy at her and say it's your turn to sleep, and she goes, not very loud. And then she tries to shake her head, but she's just like, oh man, somebody get the number of that doobie. What's going like anyway? And she's wobbling on her feet. That was Gizik. All right, Gizik, do you want to take the move action or do anything? You happy where you are?
I'm happy where I'm at.
All right. Well, now it would be the guy throwing the holy water. Okay. What is your fortitude, Anduriel?
Right now it's 21.
All right. Oh, good. That's a 13, unfortunately. Gizik, does a 13 beat your fortitude?
No.
Okay.
Oh, actually, it's not 21. It's 20 because I got healed by Ben.
It's a 4 plus his bonus is not going to do it. So he hucks this vial of holy water, and it lands in the square on the table between the two of you, and it explodes, but all of the water goes gushing down over the end of the table. So it doesn't even come anywhere near close to the two of you. However, I will tell you, as this kind of, water goes over there, he seems to have the ability to control where the water is going. Like, he hucks the vial, and then he's like kind of guided missile, and he tries to move it, and the water actually sloshes to his hand movements, but he's too clumsy, and it goes over the edge of the table, and he's like, oh! But clearly he is controlling that water. So there is a big, messy pile of holy water on that table, Anduriel, and you become keenly aware of it. So, but my point, don't go into that square, fool.
A great number of things, yes.
Yeah, and you might want to remove the steak. Okay, anyway. All right, that is the end of the round. We are about 10 minutes over, just about, or almost 20 minutes over, so we will end here. But the last thing that happens is the guy that's on top of Anduriel, he looks up at you, Anduriel, and he says, as you wake up, and he says, "Greetings from the Trident Society." And that is the last thing that we will do before we end.
Trident? You mean they chew gum?
That's exactly it. And they
He's sitting there. Greetings from the Trident Society.
That's right.
Greetings, mate.
And he says, "Now I might be your enemy, but chew refreshing No.
Who's the real enemy? Gingivitis."
Okay. Well, thank you. I don't think anybody will now take this enemy even remotely seriously. Even though he almost staked a member of our party. Now they're gum salesmen. Thank you.
Then the Double Mint gang busts.
I blame Ryan.
Not in our territory.
Yeah.
You picked up on it, JT. So, anyway.
Fair enough.
No, that's fine. There won't be any consequences, I promise. Anyway, we will move on to consider this in just a second. We would like to remind everybody who might watch this video, all 10 of you, I guess 11, including me, so that we will be picking up our next stream, Holy Rollerz Special Ops, will be premiering on the 25th of September. Starring John, Lulu, and Scarlet Moth and I, with Ryan as the DM, and I am sure to take all of his enemies seriously. We will be playing on the 25th at 6:30 p.m. So just FYI, please tune in. Okay, consider this. Ben, please take it away.
All right. Well, this one's a short one, and a simple one, but I feel it's an important one. So they always say that happiness is a choice, and they're right, but it's an oversimplification, I feel like, because it's really difficult to be happy when really hard things happen. And that's not really what I wanted to talk about. It's really more when like little things start to get to you, like, oh, I dropped my drink, or I stubbed my toe. Like it's so happy. Yes, happiness is a choice, but it's in those littler moments where you find there are going to make a bigger difference in how your day goes. Like big nukes are going to destroy everybody's day. Like your dog dies, your car breaks down. Those are big things that are going to ruin everybody's day. But when you jam your finger against the wall or something like that, those are little things, and those are the little choices that like, oh shoot, well, guess I need to lean a little bit farther to the left now so I don't walk into the wall anymore, type of thing. So it's water on a duck's back is essentially to try to roll that up into one thought. So that's all I had to really go for tonight.
I like it. I think it sounds like it's not a big deal, but I actually feel very strongly about this. I think when you refuse to give in to those little moments, you begin to build up spiritual strength. In our church, we call it murmuring. But I think when you choose to not give in to complaining during the little moments, when you choose to not be negative, I think it builds up positive mental attitude that is like a reserve for you. So I love that idea. I think it's good. Anybody else?
I think that's great. Awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
All
well,
right.
thank you. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Bye.